Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to another edition of Naija Mouth-Piece. Like you know, we always bring it to you back to back, the best of the best, and we go after the people that matters because you matter to us. Today, it's not gonna be any different from bringing you one of our, let me not use the word big fish because it's bigger than fish. Bringing you one man of timber and caliber that we've been looking for so long. We finally got him because of you. I would not be the one to introduce him. You all know me as MC Morris, and Philip Ayondike, aka Mega, will do that for us.
Thank you, MC Morris. Good to have you on set today, and it's an opportunity again to showcase beautiful things about Nigeria. And today we are having on set a very exceptional person. He's someone who has represented Nigeria positively here in Canada and some other parts of the world. Who do we have today? We have the president of Ibuza Community Development Union, Canada. When MC Morris said he's big, you should know that he's actually big. His name is Mr. Ichie Lawrence Okonknwo.
Good to have you, Mr. Lawrence.
Thank you so much, MC Morris. Thank you, Mega, for having me on your channel.
Thank you so much.
My name is Lawrence Okonknwo. I'm an academician. I'm a clinical instructor with Sentinel College and Ryerson University Collaborative Program. I'm also a medical practitioner. I'm an advanced practice nurse. I'm involved in ICU and emergency practice. Been doing this for a while now. I'm also a father of five.
Father of five and one wife.
And one wife, that's correct. Born into a family of 10 children, 8 still alive.
Wow.
So I don't know what else to say.
Good to have you today, Mr. Okonkwo. Would like you've given us a brief bio about yourself, but academically, we need to know your academic background. Your field of study from either back home in Nigeria or how you took it from here in Canada. It will do our viewers a whole lot. So give us real detailed information about your academics.
Thank you so much for that question. Like I mentioned, born into a family of 10 children, so you could imagine, and this is back home in Nigeria. So I grew up in a very big family. My father was a very, very hardworking man. My elementary school was in Port Harcourt, Rebisi State School 3. After I finished my elementary school, I got admission into Federal Government College, Port Harcourt, one of the Unity schools. It's actually a very prestigious school in Nigeria. After I finished my high school, which is considered high school here, I got admission initially into the University of Agriculture, Makurdi, to study engineering. I tried engineering for about a year, and because my flair has always been to become a medical doctor, I've always wanted to go into medicine. As a matter of fact, as a child growing up back then in Port Harcourt, even as a teenager, I was already reading medical encyclopedias. My siblings, I was called Dr. Okonkwo at that time. So I switched my career from engineering to physics. I went transferred to University of Lagos. The idea at that time was that because it was very hard to get into med school in Nigeria, it was very, very competitive. So the idea was that you pick a course in science, study for about a year or two, and then you can transfer to med school with good grades. But unfortunately, after 2 years, 3 years of my academic study at the University of Lagos, I stayed until I finished with a degree in physics in the University of Lagos.
Big one. That's a big one too.
Yeah, and then after graduating, I came to Canada through the help of my first cousin.
So what year was that?
This was in 1999.
So you've been in Canada for 24 years.
That's correct. Time flies, eh?
That's huge.
Time flies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the journey has been quite interesting. There's been ups and downs. But today it's different. When I got here, I started afresh. I went back to school as a PSW. While I was working as a PSW, I went to college to study my registered practical nursing. And right after that, I upgraded to registered nursing, and then decided to go back to med school. So it was 9 years ago. And however, because of some very personal family demands, plans changed. And then the goal to go to med school was shelved, and I went back and I did my master's, and since then have been going to school to develop myself in the professional manner. So I've had to do my advanced life cardiac support. I did my PALS, I did my TNCC, and I've literally worked in a lot of hospitals, in trauma settings. I've been involved in a lot of resuscitations. I've been involved in saving a lot of lives. So it's been a journey. Good work for that.
Quite a great journey. Quite a great journey. Quite a great journey. And to be honest, you've been able, with this little you've said about yourself, you've given a lot to the society.
He's indeed an academician.
Yeah,
I'm sure in your school back then you used to come out first. Because in my school I used to be the first. I need the first to go home.
Yeah. So how do you combine these two tasky jobs? How are you able to get both of them going? Because I know that both of them are quite challenging.
They say life is not a bed of roses. I think what keeps me going, it's that tenacity. I've always wanted to do well in everything I do. So in addition to my work as a clinical instructor and working in emergency and critical care, like you mentioned, I'm also the president of Ibuza Community Development Union.
Exactly.
So I'm also involved in community service, and I'm also a father of 5 children. So and a husband too. So
and a husband to one wife.
Husband to one wife.
Because when they hear the 5 children, it takes a lot.
In addition to that, I'm also an assistant pastor with Redeemed Christian Church of God. So I think it's all boils down to committing yourself first and foremost to God, and just continuously being inspired by what you want, setting goals for yourself. And like I always say to myself, I always keep my eyes on the crown. So you wake up every day is a gift, and then you take up the challenge not giving up. So I just get inspired by seeing the progress and the things I have done for myself, for my community, and for my family.
Okay, coming into this country in 1999 and the way it is right now, do you think that for people that just want to come in now, do you think that they can achieve the much that you have achieved within this 1999, when I think it's a little bit easier now compared to now, or do you think it's still the same?
I don't think much has changed. I think achieving goals all depends on individuals. Achieving goals also depends on one setting goals for themselves. I have come across individuals who sit back and they don't set goals for themselves. So everything is achievable. You just have to put your mind on what you want to do. Put your mind in your passion, because your passion is also what drives your goal. For me, the passion to work in healthcare has always been there. The passion to help people who are sick has always been there. And I think that's one of the driving forces of my success today in my career path. So I think much hasn't changed. I have always advised people to pay a lot of attention in going back to school, education, because I mean, when I came to Canada, I already had a degree in physics, and then I went back all the way to the bottom and got a diploma, a degree, a master's degree, and as I speak to you, I'm still looking forward to starting my PhD next year. So again, it's all about setting goals for yourself. I set goals for myself for the year. I set 5-year goals for myself. I set 10-year goals for myself. So it's all about setting goals for yourself. So I think whatever you want to do in life is achievable. You just have to set the goals for yourself, put together strategies to help you attain those goals, and it's possible.
Now, I'm going to take you back to when you came in newly, sir. You came in and whilst you were giving your bio, you said you came in and you got into school to study PSW so you can work. While you were going through that process, how were you able to sustain yourself? Did you have any kind of job you were doing then, just like every other person that coming into Canada will start from the basis? Was there any way you started from the basis, or you just came in, started, you went into school and started off as a PSW?
No, like I said, life was not a bed of roses. I was lucky that when I came in, my first cousin was here, and he had a business, he had a video store. So I managed the video store. Again, that was not easy. We had to manage the staffing. We ran the video store 24 hours, and because we're trying to manage the resources, I worked nights at the video store. So I stayed up all night, and then in the day, I was up to kind of make sure that the video store was running and the day staffs were doing what they were supposed to do. Shortly after he left, I started my own business. I sold used cars for some time, for a couple of years, and then transitioned into going back to school. Even when I sold used cars, it was still challenging. I went to about 4 or 5 auctions during the week. I went to the body shop on the weekends. I went to scrap yards. I went to the shipyard when the cars were being shipped to Nigeria. It was challenging. At some point in time, I was losing money. So, but in all of that, again, I had my focus. All of that was more like a stepping stone for me. I knew what I wanted, and I knew that my ultimate goal was to work as a medical practitioner.
We're going to be going on a short break, and when we come back, we're going to get into the proper medical practitioner thing. Yeah. Thank you so much.
I am Kasmi Okedenechi. If you give me the next 90 seconds of your time, you'll become richer and wealthier. I am a real estate broker, property developer, and investment advisor. At Kasmi Retail, we specialize in helping people increase their net worth as we guide them to invest in only profitable real estate portfolio. We have created a reliable and more profitable real estate investment plan that beats any annual percent yield APY that your bank can offer. With our real estate buyback plan, you can earn up to 25%, 40%, and 50% in 6 months, 10 months, and 12 months, respectively. You ask me, how does this work? To get started, all you have to do is to call my number on the screen, which is 081-865-78916. I'll be more than willing to provide you with all the information that you need and answer all your questions. You can follow us on all social media platforms at Kasmi Realty, or subscribe to our YouTube channel. You don't have to miss this opportunity.
Now me wait they drive your bus. Now me wait they drive your keke. Baloso. Now me wait they run around. Now me they do the job. Baloso.
Okay, welcome back, and it's still Naija Mouth-Piece, and we still have in the house our own academician.
Yes.
In fact, mathematician. Mr. Lawrence Okonkwo. Mr. Lawrence, one question for you. Like, when you see people that are coming into the abroad, people are coming to make money. People have bills to pay back home. So people are focusing on the money already, and now coming in here, they are telling me to also go to school again. No, how do you manage? Is it that you do not have so much bills and so much family problem that you are still putting your eye in the school? Because most people come here and they're just here for the money. They just want to work. So how were you able to manage bills and going to school, bills back home, bills here, and all of it?
Thank you. Again, it boils down to knowing exactly what you want. When I came here and decided to go back to school, I had to do research. I had to look up like what are some of the resources available to me. Going back to school here was not very easy, especially. I had a family that I had to cater for. So I utilized resources. There were grants that the government have available. You just have to look up and see what are the things that you have eligible for that you can get. I remember vividly one time there's a book that I needed for my school. It's called MedSearch. It's more like the Bible of healthcare. And I could not afford this book. I went to the library, I borrowed the book, I returned it after 2 weeks, wait in the library for like an hour or two, and I'll borrow the book again. Eventually, the librarian saw me coming back and forth for weeks, borrowing this book, bringing it back for only a few hours, and taking the book again. And she asked me if I wanted a free book that was donated by charity. Again, I eventually got a book from the school librarian for free that was donated by an organization for charity for somebody who needs the book. So I would encourage anyone who wants to go back to school. You just have to look up what is the resources available for you, what ways you can get financial support from the government, from your locality, from your municipality, and then see how you can there be supported, keeping your eyes on the goal.
So Mega, how could you take a swipe on that? Maybe you're also not looking at someone like Mega that when you open WhatsApp in the morning, you see account information. Mega, let's start from Mega. How do you want to manage school with all those account information?
Anyway,
or was it that back then people were not demanding from back home?
As it was in the beginning, so it is now, and so it will continue to be.
So Mega, for you, how do you want to manage school and those?
No, we have to do it, because if you say you want to jettison studies for just menial job, what you're going to get going to school, you won't get not going to school. You're going to get education. You're going to get, because of the virtue of degree you're going to earn by going to school, you'll get a good job. But if you're not well schooled, you can't get good job. So it's as good as that. If you want to become the best in IT today, you have to study IT. You can, if you don't study, you cannot get to the best position you want to attain in life, except if you're looking at yourself as somebody who doesn't want to grow. So that's going to be my response to that. Now, sir, we appreciate all that you've said, and I'm going to come to you because you are two in one. You are two-edged sword. So you are an academician and you practice medicine. Now, we have a lot of Nigerians that started the same way you started. They started as PSW. A lot of them want to get into nursing, but because of the news that is on the it's out there that nursing is such a difficult program to come by. You get into it, if you're not careful, you drop along the line. Yeah. What would you want to say?
Now, as a clinical instructor with Sentinel College and Rising University, I can tell you, I come across a lot of students, some who are parents and some who are young people. I probably have taught way too many students in my time with Sentinel College, and as I speak to you right now, I'm just in my third week of our semester right now. And in life, there's always challenges. You just have to be persistent and stay on course. Finding a way to manage the challenges that come with it. Healthcare as a whole is a very, very beneficial profession. I can tell you my personal experience as a healthcare practitioner in saving lives. Like I've literally been involved in multiple resuscitations. When COVID first came, I was part of the team that was, we were running to COVID patients when people were running away from COVID patients. So I can tell you that, again, it's very, very beneficial. The main idea when it comes to healthcare is being persistent. It's not easy. You just have to stay on the go, ensure that you're being proactive with your classes, planning yourself, trying to structure yourself around what the program is, what the curriculum is, and having some support systems around you. I mean, you could have people who could help you, study mates, or pretty much look for people who have gone through this path before, who would mentor you. So these are some of the ways one can manage the challenges of healthcare. It's attainable. It's a profession that if it's something you want to do, I would encourage you to do. There's a lot of benefits. Seeing people come into the hospital in so much pain and not feeling well, and see them walk out feeling better. It's very, very refreshing, and it's just mind-blowing.
Wow. So, like you just said now, it makes you happy seeing people being when you do something to give life back to people. Now, it comes with its challenges though. So how do you cope with the challenges that come with this job? Because I know that virtually all the jobs in life has its own challenges, but healthcare job comes with this challenge that's got to do with life. If by accident you're trying to resuscitate someone and the person ends up losing it, what are the likely challenge that you might face, and what are the things that you personally have encountered trying to do this job that is a lot risky?
Like everything else, there's always challenges and there's always difficulties you face in everything you do. In engineering, in banking, there's always challenges that come with every career. Healthcare is unique though. Healthcare is unique because now you're dealing with lives. You're dealing with human lives, and the whole idea is you have to ensure that risk is, you mitigate risk to the bare minimum. So as long as you ensure that your practice it's based on ethics, you're following the rules. For me, my practice, you have protocols, we have standards, and this is what I teach my students as a professor. There are guidelines. So one of the ways to ensure that your practice is good is to ensure that you're up to date with these guidelines. You're up to date with practice. You look up research studies. You see new ways of doing things. Going into healthcare as a profession, you need to be very up to date with things, and you cannot afford to be lazy. You can't afford to sit back. You have to put into some work into it. So again, anyone who has passion for it, it's one area that I encourage. One, because there's lots of job supply in healthcare. It's lives. People are always going to be sick, so you cannot be in a situation where you find yourself not being out of job. Again, most importantly, you get the opportunity to help people. You get the opportunity to be in people's life, especially when they are most vulnerable. You get the opportunity to help people who are in pain, and you ease their pain. So I think it's very, very, very rewarding career path.
Okay, thank you very much. Looking at the length of years that you've been practicing in Canada, and looking at your own understanding about Nigerian health care sector, would you kindly give some level of comparison between Nigeria and Canada in terms of healthcare practice?
But did you practice in Nigeria?
No, I did not practice in Nigeria. But again, like I said, I've always had that interest to work as a healthcare provider. I've always had that interest, even as a child. Honestly, it's like night and day. Unfortunately, it is what it is. The problem is that the system has been structured in such a way that people are taken for granted. I've had stories where there's been multiple medical malpractices. People's lives are lost because healthcare providers or healthcare practitioners make very, preventable mistakes. I had a cardiology, my personal experience, I had a cardiology come see my mom one time when she wasn't feeling well. It was a house visit or house service, so to say. We paid this guy, and when I asked, to kind of review the results of all the tests he did for my mom, they didn't even do ECG. I mean, a cardiologist, this is the first thing you do when somebody has heart problems or cardiac problems, so we normally refer to that.
Sorry to interject there. You're still going to take it over? You're still going to go on with that? Is it this aspect you're talking about right now? Do we say it is because they don't have passion for the job or they are not well trained?
No, I think a bulk of it is the training. I have come across a lot of healthcare professionals in Nigeria who are very, very passionate about the job. They love what they do. But unfortunately, there's a lot of challenges that they face. One, the system itself creates a lot of barrier for their practice. And two, they don't really get compensated well for what they do. So there's a lot of factors that creates discouragement when it comes to Nigeria compared to here. They are not very well respected. Here, people respect you because you've put in the work. It's not a very easy career path.
Thank you so much. We're going to go on another short break. And by the time we're back, we're still going to be giving it to you because it's still fully loaded. Thank you, our viewers out there.
I am Ichie Lawrence Okonknwo. If you give me the next 90 seconds of your time, you'll become richer and wealthier. I am a real estate broker, property developer, and investment advisor. At Ichie Rhythm, we specialize in helping people increase their net worth as we guide them to invest in only profitable real estate portfolio. We have created a reliable and more profitable real estate investment plan that beats any annual percent yield APY that your bank can offer. With our real estate buyback plan, you can earn up to 25%, 40% and 50% in 6 months, 10 months, and 12 months, respectively. You ask me, how does this work? To get started, all you have to do is to call my number on the screen, which is 081-865-78916. I'll be more than willing to provide you with all the information that you need and answer all your questions. You can follow us on all social media platforms at Ichie Realty or subscribe to our YouTube channel. You don't have to miss this opportunity.
Now me wait they drive your bus. Now me wait they drive your keke. Baloso. Now me wait they run around. Now me they do the job. Baloso.
Okay, welcome back, guys. We want to believe that you are enjoying this particular episode of Naija Mouth-Piece. Okay, we'll come back to you, sir. We have a question that you were tackling before we went on the commercial break, that the difference between the practice here in Canada and back home in Nigeria before you took a diversion. So can you quickly compare?
Well, again, like I earlier indicated, part of the problem is in that, apart from the fact that they don't have the proper environment, the infrastructure is not there. We have a lot of equipment here that can be utilized in quick diagnosis. A lot of equipment here that can be used for diagnostic testings that you could usually quickly use in investigating and finding out what's wrong with your patient. You don't have that there. People die of sepsis in Nigeria. People die of complications from appendectomy. Like, this is things that you come over here, you walk in and you walk out. Unbelievably, people die of malaria, typhoid, like things that you could treat, you could manage. Again, the other part of it is that most of the populace are not very well educated. People don't take care of their health. People don't check their blood pressure. People don't check their blood sugar. People could be diabetic for years and would die of diabetic ketoacidosis, which is complication from diabetes. People could be hypertensive for years, not know it, and die of stroke from high blood pressure. People die from heart attack from high blood pressure. These are things that, if identified, early enough can be managed and people could live longer. So the system has not created the enabling environment for people to live longer and manage some of these things that they come across.
So some of this could be attributed to lack of healthcare education and the fact that healthcare is not even within reach. It's quite expensive back home, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, all right.
Absolutely.
Okay, I have a question for you. Okay, it's going to be 2 in 1 because I see you love the healthcare job so much. Now, the first question is, would you one day, especially now that you want to go deeper into the healthcare ministry, would you one day look at relocating back home to Nigeria to put things in order or to do your bits? One, and would you also advise your children to also go into the healthcare space?
I never say never. That thought is always there. I am grateful to God. I am also grateful for the opportunity I have been provided to be where I am today, especially in my practice. We've always tried, even as part as my community, Ibuza Development Committee Union, ICDU. We've done like a few things back home. We've done like programs, done like health outreach. We've provided some medical supplies and assistance to some of the hospitals back home. So I think that's also something that comes to mind every now and then, and it's something that, again, I would not say that it's not something that I would not see myself in the near future. So at some point in time, I think it's something that I would want to do. Go back home, support as much as I can, provide some of the education that I'm talking about now that is lacking, and help those young people who are looking to becoming healthcare practitioners themselves or healthcare professionals themselves, guide and mentor them. So I think it's something that I would not say that don't see myself doing in the near future. My oldest daughter, as we speak right now, wants to go to med school. She's doing her first degree. My second daughter, she wants to be a lawyer or she wants to teach, again, in line with my profession.
But it's not you that is telling them.
No. I have always encouraged my children to do what they want to do, and what because for whatever you choose to do in life as a career, there has to be passion. Without passion, you become miserable. So for me, again, it's that passion for healthcare, that passion to wanting to help people who are sick and vulnerable is part of what inspires me every day. I have had like shifts where I have worked like 12 hours straight and have like probably 15-20 minutes break. Sometimes we're trying to save lives with my team, and you don't get out. You're standing on your feet. Especially in the emergency department, where you're dealing with traumas, you're dealing with people who have come in with strokes, you're dealing with people who have come in with heart attacks. So the passion has to be there. The passion is the driving force. So I've always encouraged my children to look at what they are passionate about. They have to be able to enjoy what they do, to be able to manage the challenges that come with the profession.
Yeah, thank you very much. Canada, as much as we know, is quite demanding. And you have a 5-a-side team. So how do you manage the home? How do you manage the home, manage teaching job, and still manage the healthcare job?
Still manage being a president.
And still manage being a president. And still manage being a pastor. You shepherd, your
so it's 5 stars.
You have 5 children, 5 jobs, and at the end of the day, it doesn't even end at the community alone. He himself too has passion because he gives back to the community as a humanitarian. So how do you bring all of this together?
10 of it. And you know, when he started, he said that he came from a family of 10. So now that he does not want to have a family of 10, he decided to take 5 children
and 5 responsibilities.
So, 5 responsibilities.
So how do you manage 10 together, please?
Honestly, I really don't know. For me, I take every day as it comes. Some days I get 4 hours of sleep. Some days 3 hours. And the days I'm lucky, I get 6-7 hours of sleep. I try as much as I can to rest whenever it's possible. Every day for me, it's a new day. Every day is a gift. So the only thing I do is I set goals for myself. I set 1 year goal, I set 5-year goal, and I set a 10-year goal for myself. So again, things change. You set these goals, and then you wake up in the morning, you get ready, you get up, and you just go. And at the end of the day, once you're done, you look back, and so I really can't say that I have like a silver bullet on how that I manage all of this. It just, I take it really as it comes, and where possible, sacrifices are made. I make sacrifices. I give up sometimes sleep. My children also make sacrifices because sometimes they get to see me less than they would normally see me. So it's just taking every day as it comes.
Thank you so much. Because normally we talk about how you unwind, but before we go to how you unwind, it's been a season and the dispensation of Japa in Nigeria. Everybody want to run away, so I don't know. So what would you want to say to our people migrating from Nigeria to different parts of the world?
One key thing for anybody who wants to migrate, one key thing is have a plan. Do not just get up and migrate without a plan. Have a plan. Make sure that you do a thorough research on where you're going, the opportunities there, what you intend to do, how you intend to start. Look up, research some of the resources available to you to kind of help you manage the challenges that would come your way. Look for a mentor. Look for a mentor, somebody who is already there, who has gone through the same challenges. You have to have a plan. You have to stay organized, because the mistake most people make is that they just pack up without a plan, hoping that when they get here, they would structure themselves, and then when they come here, they become discouraged and become disappointed. So the key thing is have a plan. Make sure you have a good understanding of where you're going. Make sure you have a good understanding of what you intend to do. Make sure you have a good understanding of the resources available to you. And ultimately, make sure you have a mentor, somebody who will guide you through the process.
Okay, so that now takes us back to what do you do for fun? Like, how do you unwind after the whole 5 and 5? How do you unwind?
I'm very simple. I just watching a movie here and there helps me, and every now and then we plan vacations. We go away with my family. Like last year, we had 2 vacations. We went at Disney, we went to Universal. This year we have a cruise coming up, a Christmas cruise coming up in December. So, sometimes we just get away for a day or two. Pack up. Sometimes very spontaneous. You don't plan it. We come like, okay guys, pack up, we're going to Great Wolf Lodge. So every opportunity I get to unwind, I utilize it to the best of it.
Thank you. Yes, and finally, you are an health expert we have a lot of our viewers out there who doesn't even know what it takes to visit a family doctor, who doesn't even have one. Some,
as you should talk to me
because behind the scene, you said, and I'm going to actually talk to you. He was at the clinic and he was asked who his family doctor is, and he said Jesus is his family doctor. To be honest, Jesus is a family doctor, and we need to still visit.
Jesus is a family doctor, but you need a
family. Yeah, so we need you to actually speak to our people out there. A lot of people don't even go to the hospital. They believe they don't really need it. And like one of the cases you mentioned when we came in, when we were talking behind the camera, as per somebody who died because of rupture and all of that. A lot of people die carelessly these days because they are not informed about their health status. So what would you want to say to them as we're going to be rounding up with that? Then that will be the pattern.
I would say we are very lucky to be in a country like Canada, where healthcare is virtually almost free. I mean, it won't take you very much to book an appointment with your family physician to go have your annual physical. It doesn't take very much. Or they'll just look at you and give you a requisition for some tests. Most times it's barely routine. There are a lot of health problems that people have that can be manageable, that can be managed for many years, and they would still live and have a good quality of life. But when some of these health problems are not caught on time and they are not managed well, it becomes a problem. It creates more complications, and these complications would become something bigger. High blood pressure, for instance, is something that can be managed, and people would live a normal life. But when it's not controlled, again, could cause a stroke, could cause kidney problems. It could cause a lot of problems, but it could be managed. Diabetes, if caught on time, could be managed. People could take anti-diabetic medication tablets. They could be put on insulin. Some of this could be managed, and they could still live a good life, live a good quality life. Again, some could even be managed by their diet. But if it's not caught on time, it becomes a problem. So there's so many things that could be managed well if caught on time. So one of the things I could say is people need to be more educated about their health, visit their family physician, do their annual checkup. It does not take very much. Ensure that they are compliant with any kind of health recommendations provided to them, and hopefully things would work out well. So again, in line or in reference to what I mentioned about people being more educated about their health and being more informed about their health, as the president of our ICDU, Ibuza Community Development Union, we are actually, this is literally the first time we are going to say this. Bulk of our members are not even aware of this information. This is more like breaking news. We're putting together a program where we'll have medical professionals. It's more like a roundtable that will be done via Zoom, where my committee members would have some very quick health advice. They would have an opportunity to ask questions about health. They will get some health information on how to live a healthy life. So this is coming up hopefully soon, and hopefully once that it's put together, Naija Mouth-Piece will be one of the forum to have this out there. I'm very pleased. I want to thank you, Naija Mouth-Piece, for this opportunity. This is great. I've watched a lot of the episodes of Naija Mouth-Piece, and it's very inspiring. Seeing people talk about their lives, seeing people talk about their journey, and giving people the opportunity to see that some of these things are possible and attainable. So I want to really thank Naija Mouth-Piece for the great work you guys are doing. It takes a lot, and it's only somebody who has a heart for the community that will be able to put together a channel like this. So I want to thank you guys for your hard work and the opportunity to share my story.
Thank you so much, Mr. Okonkwo. We appreciate having you, and we look forward to having a better relationship with you in the near future. Thank you, our viewers out there, and we hope you have enjoyed this episode, and trust Naija Mouth-Piece. We're going to be coming out with something big every other weekend.
And thank you so much, Erwin MC Morris. Until we come your way next time, keep watching Naija.
Peace.